Hello and welcome to the Ohio High School Athletic Association lacrosse meeting. My name is Chris Worm with Central Ohio Lacrosse Officials Association, and I'll be giving a presentation on game management and professionalism. Well, what is game management? Game management is a collection of techniques used to make a game run smoothly. Those techniques include knowing the rules, your field mechanics, being at the right place at the right time, to make your call or to not make your call. Being physically fit, of course, making sure that you're getting to the right place to make the call is very important. These players are getting a lot faster and bigger, and we're all getting a 1 year older every single year. So tying all these three things together is part of your game management. Why is that important? Well, one is player safety. It's the most important thing out here. It's what everybody, it's what we always talk about is the most important thing. Of course, good game management creates good game flow. We're always, if the officials are in the right position, we can continually get those quick whistles and restarts appropriately and on time, and keep a good game flow. Our game management does prevent issues from escalating using the tools at our disposal to make sure that things don't get out of control. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but we still have the tools to keep those under wraps. And of course, to keep things fair for both teams. I think that's really being consistent and fair is one of the things that coaches really trust us to take control of. Now, your professionalism is part of your game management. And what is that? It is made of constant flow of little bits of proof that testify to the devotion and care given. And we're going to break that down a little quicker, and you'll see that we'll talk about this a little further as the presentation goes on. Constant flow is building on a your day-to-day commitment to be your best and to build on one day after the next, one game after the next, work on one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. That constant flow of getting better. And then of course your little bits of proof are what that constant flow proves that you're getting better. Getting ready for that big moment with those little moments, those little wins create those big wins at the end. And not waiting for that big moment to show your commitment, but just making those little moments to make to build on that. So the lack of professionalism is what we have here is pretense or incompetence. Pretense is the attempt to make something that is not the case appear to be true. What people like to say, fake it till you make it, doesn't really work. And incompetence is just the inability to do something, successfully. Well, your constant flow, part of your constant flow is your self-assessment, is you looking within yourself and asking yourself, where did you succeed? Where did you fail? And of course, reaching out to your mentors and your observers or your partners and asking for advice on certain situations, or calling a rules interpreter and making sure that whether or not you administered something correctly. But that's very important during your game and your post game is assessing, well, what's a play that I really like, I came and got, or where's there a play that I wish I could take back? And we always have those. There's always one or two of those that exist. Can't have a perfect game, but you need to make sure you have that assessment of that game so you can work on it and make sure you get better. You know, we don't need perfect people. We just need people to be honest with themselves and be willing to grow. Another part of your constant flow are your evaluations. When you're being observed, You want to see how you received praise. That's always the easy part. But how did you receive the critiquing? And what does that say about you on how you handle? You should probably handle the critiquing a little bit more. You can learn more from your failures than you can from your wins. So if you really get offended by if somebody's trying to help you, this may not be the right advocation for you, but we really have to look within ourselves and say, okay, there's a reason or purpose why they're here. Those observers, they don't make a lot of money just to watch you evaluate you. So understand that they're there to help you. So then you want to ask yourself, are you willing to learn and to listen and to make space, or are you willful, closed down, and not willing to grow? So being professional, you want to be physically professional, mentally professional, and emotionally professional. All right. If you don't want to be professional, then don't worry about any of these. Now, physically, the game, like I said before, is faster and faster. The players are better. They're getting bigger too. Just the nature of every game. Don't wait till March to make that big push to try to get in shape. Like we said, that's just pretense. Don't try to fake it till you get there. Don't think that, hey, I'll get in shape with my scrimmages. It doesn't really work that way. And then don't be fooled. All right, nobody's going to be. No one else will be fooled. They can see it. So I apologize to my football officials out there as well. And mentally, well, study the rule book. Ask yourself what scenarios are difficult for you. Is it offsides? Is it the over and back? Is it taking your time as the lead or the trail coming in and making sure you're counting and clearing the box? Whatever that is, your field mechanics on transitions, whatever that is, whatever situation, work on that and be willing to grow. Understanding the new rules and studying the game. And of course, emotionally, how did you handle your emotions? How did you handle the coaches emotionally? Did they get under your skin? Were you observed? And are those observations valid? You want to ask yourself. That's part of your self-assessment. Emotionally, I think getting ready all starts with your pregame, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But getting yourself emotionally ready for the game is very important. If you come in charged up prior to stepping on the field, you're probably going to be a little bit charged up when you make your calls, and we don't really need that. We need you to try to be calm and be that calming effect on the field. And of course, emotionally for yourself, were you ready for the game? And were you with veteran crews? Did you hide when you had a couple veterans with you, or were you ready to be 3 R's when we started the game? And that's really what we want. We don't need 1 R and then a field judge and an umpire. We need to be all one within one group of the same official. All right, your pregame, like I just said, it does start with the drive to the game. And what do you need to get rid of? Emotionally getting rid of your business day, your family issues, thinking about who your partners are, who the teams are, the coaches, the players, so on and so forth. Just getting yourself mentally ready for that game, getting yourself in the right frame of mind. When you have your pregame, definitely, have fun. We got to have fun in this game. If you're not having fun, I don't know why we're out there. So, have fun, but you do need to have a pregame. You need to talk about certain scenarios. Maybe one of the teams out there or both the teams out there and how their playing styles are, or coaches and their tendencies and how you want to handle those situations. And it really does depend on the level of game and your partners on how in depth you're going to go and what you're going to work on that game. So when you take the field, you want to take care of those little things so you're ready for the game. getting all those things out of the way with your partners. After you do all your coin tosses and talk to the face-off individuals and certified coaches and coin flips and everything, go talk to your penalty table and get to know that person. They are an extension of you. They're an extension of your officiating staff. Get them on your side. The game can be a lot easier for you. Now, once the game starts, you want to control the game, obviously. You want to set the bar of what you're going to allow and what you're not going to allow. All right. If you have to start off with an early technical foul, just set the tone, it's got to be a legitimate call. Just don't make it up. But, set the tone. They want to be silly to start the game. Put the bar there and keep it there. Be consistent with it, though. And you want to be clear and concise with your calls. You don't want to be ambiguous with it. That just takes away all the confidence with everybody, the coaches, the players, and even the table. So be very, very demonstrative with your calls. So now we're going to manage our coaches. There's a difference between coaches and officials. They care about the game and the outcome. They really care who wins the game. As officials, we should care about just the game and keeping it fair and player safety. They care too, but we shouldn't really, we don't care who wins the game. It really makes no difference to us. So that's the big difference. And they're more invested in the outcome. So more often than not, coaches just want to be heard. When they want to say something to you, you just want to acknowledge that they've heard you. Statements, yes, just nod and move on. If they're going to ask you a legitimate question, we need to answer that question. Okay. Once if a coach is getting riled up, you want to be that diffusing factor. Coming to that coach, getting him back to the sideline. When you confront him, you're going to stand side by side, or maybe even your back to him, and never face to face, never confrontational. All right. They're going to get louder. Easier said than done. We need to get quieter. We have to have that diffusing effect on the situations. All right. And tell the truth. If you be honest. If you don't know the truth, then you need to be honest with them. Then if it's one of your partners made a call, and you got to let them know, hey, he's going to come back around here, or in a dead ball, we're going to find out what happened, and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. But don't make things up. If you made a mistake, a lot of times a coach can appreciate the fact you letting him know, hey, I missed that one. If that's how it really occurred, I missed it, and we're going to look for that. So just explain and move on. Don't debate, yes or, a shouting match is never going to do anybody any good. And never, ever bait a coach into a violation. It just looks bad all the way around. When you get to the point, you let them know enough's enough, enforce it. You have the toolbox to use, escalating it, taking the ball away, going 30 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes, so on and so forth. We have the tools at our disposal to manage the game. And with managing coaches, you never can misquote silence ever. All right. If you don't have anything to say, all right, just move on. And of course, managing players, you want to talk to them. Of course, just like with coaches, you want to set the bar, explain to them why you did or did not make a call. If you know a player that's getting on the, it's getting close to on the tilt, I like to say, let him know, quietly let him know. Don't shout and scream. If you have to, if he's on the other side and you're by a coach, you want to let him coach. Hey, coach, number 22, he's getting close. Watch out for him. We've warned him a couple of times about getting stick. so on and so forth. But if you do scream at that kid, you probably lost him. So give him a chance. If he takes it, great. If he doesn't, like I said, you got those tools at your disposal and use them. All right, during the game, you got your potential problems that will help you manage your game. You want to be aware of your loose balls and play-ons that take way too long. Or sometimes you just got to blow it dead. Make your call and move on. A lot of times, nothing good can happen when that loose ball takes forever, or you have a play on and somebody didn't like that push in the back, and there's now you have a retaliation, and it just gets out of hand. If you see that occur, you just got to blow it dead, make your call, move on. If you have a blowout, the team losing can be frustrated. There could be some retaliation. You just got that's really on those blowouts is a lot of times when your game management skills need to come into play. One thing that I always mention in my pregame is dead ball situations and off ball situations. If you get everything in a dead ball situation or off ball in a game, then it's a success, regardless of the score. Okay. If we miss anything during the dead ball or off ball, that's on us. That's nobody else's fault. And I consider that, I consider that game a failure, especially if we miss anything on a dead ball we should get. That means we're not managing the game from beginning to end. All right. Be present and aware and manage this. All right. So like this situation here, everybody's going one way except for one kid. Seeing that, there should be 3 flags here. And I thank you, and everybody have a safe season.